Drop the link. Drop the link. Drop the drink. Drop the link. Drop the link. Drop the link. Send the link. Yeah, dumbasses. Why would you guys even believe that I would? Why would you guys even believe that I? Bro, send the link. No, not that shit. Nah, bro. I already hit this dude up. It's not there, bro. Everyone sent me that link, bro. Alright. Alright, boys. So, first of all, how have the habits been? Good? Anybody relapse? No. Someone said they relapsed. I relapsed? Bruh. Hit Nick once over the weekend? Bro. No caffeine week 2 is wild. I get to have caffeine tomorrow. Yeah, this shit is awesome. No spanking streak, no caffeine, yeah. Well, I just took a break from caffeine because I was super fucking brain dead, bro. I realized I was running on fumes, and then I got a really good night's sleep and shit. It's another drug. I know, but it's legal compared to like alcohol and all that shit. Like, you gotta be a certain age to drink that shit. Caffeine is a no-no? Deadass? Alright. Fine, I won't do it no more. But anyways, I'm glad that your guys' habits have been good. Did you guys do the homework? Yeah. Identified 10 liquidity sweeps. Yeah. You found 20? Bet. Okay. That's good. Okay. Now today, today we're going to be talking about breakup structure, and I may or may not combine it with order blocks. But you said nah. One day at a time. I know, but there's some shit that I got it. Like, I got a lot of shit that I want to do. But anyways, yo, Connor, can you pause the chat real quick? We're gonna cover breakup structure first. We're gonna see how far that we get in that, and then from there we'll see what we want to do. Connor, can you also send that little picture of the shit, or actually just like have that shit on standby? All right, cool. So, without further ado, let's get into breakup structure. So we talked about liquidity yesterday. Hopefully you guys understood that. Now we're going to talk about breakup structure, and something that I want you guys to keep in mind. These confluences mean nothing without context. Okay, so these confluences mean nothing without context and bias. Okay, so if we see a liquidity sweep, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're just instantly going to go long off this, okay? And if we see a liquidity sweep to the upside, that doesn't mean we're instantly going to go short off of this, because it could be a sweep on the 1 minute and it could be super short-lived for price to instantly go higher. Same thing applies to break of structure, okay? And break of structure is a entry confirmation, okay? I wouldn't necessarily call it a confluence. I would call it a confirmation, okay? And we'll get into one other confirmation later on during this week. See, you guys were talking about caffeine and shit, and now I got a yawn. Look what you guys did. But anyways, again, something I want to remind you guys about is confluences mean nothing without daily bias and what was I just saying? Without daily bias and what was the word that I was using? I'm clueless, bro. Context. Okay? Because if we just see a break of structure and we press short every time we see a break of structure, we are going to be probably one of the worst traders of all time. Okay, same thing is if we see a break of structure to the upside. If we see a break of structure to the upside and we just go long on that, we also have the probability of being the worst trader of all time. Okay, so without bias and without context, these confluences are pretty much nothing. And break of structure, for whatever reason, again, it tends to be one of the hardest confluences for people to understand, even though in my eyes it's literally the easiest one. But we'll try. We will try, and we'll see how far you guys get in this. And if we can get far in this and we fully understand it, then I'll move to order blocks, because order blocks are relatively easy to cover and understand as well. But I ain't gonna cap. We might need to take some time on this, especially if Lesno's playing Fortnite again. Okay. POV, Lesno watching TJR's stream while top 5 final circle with a golden scar, and he's sweating his ass off, like literally sweating, and he's shaking, and he's hiding in a bush because he needs to understand break of structure. Okay. But anyways, let's talk about break of structure. Break of structure is a change of direction within the market. Write that down. Break of structure is a change of direction within the market. Hold on, let me see something right now, actually. This dude Lesno ain't even on the stream today. Goes to fucking show. Yeah. Dead ass. Anyways, I was gonna ask him to help a brother out with this. Guess not. Okay, so break of structure is a change of direction within the market. How do we know when the market is changing direction? Well, how do we identify direction within the market in the first place? Through trends, right? So if we see, this is one of the most basic concepts in all of trading. Uptrend is higher highs and higher lows, right? This is what an uptrend looks like. And what does a downtrend look like? Lower highs and lower lows, right? These are absolute basics, absolute fundamentality of trading. We know that uptrends move in higher highs and higher lows. Downtrends move in lower highs and lower lows. Cool, cool. So with that knowledge, yawn coming. With that knowledge, Nah, something's fucked up. Ow. I swear I just pulled like a mouth muscle. Whatever. With that knowledge, I just going to have to talk a little bit less now. Okay, with that knowledge, we know that uptrends move in higher highs and higher lows, downtrends move in lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so in order for an uptrend to no longer be an uptrend and to be a downtrend, what do we have to do? We have to create lower lows and lower highs. Right? Pretty simple. Okay, so in this, when do we end up breaking the trend? When we no longer make a higher low, and we end up making a lower low, and we end up making a lower high. Same thing with downtrends. Same thing with downtrends. When do we realize that this is no longer a downtrend? When we make a higher high and a higher low, and not a lower high and a lower low. Okay? So when does the market change direction? When it pushes above this high. Oops. I don't know why I clicked that. When it pushes above that high. And same thing here in an uptrend. Market breaks structure when we push below that low. All right. So this is pretty fucking simple. This is all breakup structure is. When we change direction of the overall trend. So if we see price making higher highs and higher lows, and then we close underneath a low, what does that mean? It means, oh, price broke structure, and we're probably going to form a downtrend. Okay, same thing with the downside. Oh, price is making lower lows and lower highs. Oh, price just closed above a high. Price is probably going to form an uptrend. Okay, and again, price is fractal. So what does that mean? This happens on every single time frame and applies to every single time frame. So no matter what freaking time frame that you're on, you guys are going to be able to see breakup structures everywhere, okay? And apply them everywhere. Okay? Now, think back to liquidity when we talked about identifying highs and identifying lows. Okay, what makes up a high? A move up and a move down. Bink. What makes up a low? A move down then a move up. Bink. Okay, so if we are looking for a breakup structure to the upside, if we're making lower highs and lower lows, we're going to want to look for a closure above the most recent high. Bink. Okay. Same thing in an uptrend. Okay, if we're in an uptrend, we're making higher highs and higher lows. So we see a move down, then a move up. How do we know that it's a breakup structure? When we close underneath the most recent higher low. Or when we close underneath the most recent low. Okay, and that's all that breakup structure is. It's identify the trend, and then if we get a closure above a high or a low, depending on the trend, then structure has been broken. Okay, so pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and identify this on the chart now. I'm about to yawn again. Okay, we're going to go ahead and show this on the chart. Chart this on the chart. Chart it on the chart. Okay, so right here, right here, price. First, let's start with context. Price breaks structure to the downside. Why? Because we have this low, move down, then a move up. And what happens? Price closes underneath this low. How do we know this is the low? It's a move down, then a move up, and we find the lowest point of that low. Okay, we get a candle closure, and what do I mean by a candle closure? I mean the body is closes underneath the low. This candle cannot still be forming. This candle cannot have just a wick underneath it. It has to close with its body underneath the low. Okay, so we see that happen. Again, none of this is important without context. Price ends up wanting to move higher. Okay, price ends up breaking structure back to the upside. How do we know that it broke structure to the upside? We have a move up, then a move down, so we have a high right here. Okay, and this candle closed, its body closed above the high. Okay, so we're in an uptrend now. Okay, we see it move down, we see it move up. Okay, we don't necessarily see a break of structure to the downside. Okay, we see a new low get made right here. Boom, we get a break of structure to the downside right here. Why? Move down, then a move up. We have this low right here. We get a candle closure underneath that. Okay. Price continues lower. Okay, right now we're just identifying these things. So we're in a downtrend. Is this a break of structure? Let us know. Move up, then a move down. This is a high. We push above the high. Is this a break of structure? No. It's not a break of structure. Why? Because we didn't get a candle closure above it. And in turn, what happens? Price continues lower. And continues that downtrend all the way down to Pound Town. Okay, so that's an example of breaks of structure to the downside. And that's also an example of what a break of structure to the upside is not. Okay. This is a good example of a break of structure to the upside. Okay, we have, boom, a break to the downside after bullish market structure, right? We're making higher highs and higher lows. Price never breaks structure to the downside. We only get sweeps of these lows. Okay, we never break. Price ends up breaking these lows with what? With this candle right here. When do we see the break of structure to the upside? We have this high, move up, then a move down. Highest point of those two candles on this candle right here. Okay, that's all it is. That is all break of structure is. Okay, we look for highs within downtrends to get closed above, and lows within uptrends to get closed below. Simple, simple, simple. Okay, boys? So, now, with that being said, that only took me like 20 minutes to explain, and I'm assuming, again, with Mastermind 3.0, I'm assuming a little bit more that you guys have watched at least some of my free content so far and learn some of these so that we can get into a little bit more advanced stuff or move past these beginner things a little bit quicker so that I can cover some more advanced things for you guys. Okay, so any questions? Yeah. Or no, pause. Send that picture. So I can clarify. Everyone save this picture. Jeez, bro. Here. Oh, bet. Okay, cool. This is a break of structure cheat sheet. Break of structure beat meat. Okay. Break of structure to the upside. Okay, a up move and then a down move. Check, move up, then a move down. We have the highest, we mark the highest point. Okay, and we have to make sure that it is the most recent high. Okay, that's another thing. So if we do something like this, okay, watch. If we go up, make a high right here, and let's say we're in an uptrend. Or no, let's say we're in a downtrend. This is interesting. Okay. Let's say that we're in a downtrend, right? We start off with a really clean price action. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, but we don't see a break of structure. Imagine that this is just a wick. We don't see a break of structure, but we're waiting for one. Okay, because let's say we just swept out liquidity. Okay, we're hovering over these highs and we're like, oh, when's it gonna be? When's it gonna be? Let us know. Okay, when's it gonna be? We get a little sweepy. Just kidding. Boom, price ends up keeps going down. Okay, we push past this low, we make a lower low. Then we make this high. When do we get the break of structure? Is it when this high gets broken above? Is it when this high gets broken above? Or is it when this high gets broken above? It's when the most recent high gets broken above. Okay, so same thing in an uptrend. If we're making higher highs and higher lows, hold on, let me redo that. Okay, so let's say this is the uptrend that we're in. Boom, super clean price action to start. We sweep out liquidity, price starts chopping. High, low, higher low, lower high, higher low, equal high, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, or lower high, higher low. The only thing that matters is the most recent low. As long as we haven't broken structure to the downside yet, we're still within an uptrend. We're still maintaining that bullish structure until we see a candle closure underneath the most recent low. Okay, because this is what determines if we're in an uptrend or not anymore. These lows, the most recent low. Okay, so let's say, for example, we make a, I don't want to draw out all the candles. I'll do it partially. Okay, let's say we do this, okay? This, and then imagine I'm like drawing on a candlestick. So boom. Okay, price moves higher, and then we see, boom, a move down, but a wick that goes there. And we see move up, and then we see move down that looks like this. Okay, this is going to be kind of hard to imagine, but we'll show it on the chart eventually. Okay, so let's say that we're in an uptrend and we see a high, a low, a higher low, and then I started drawing out the candle so we can see. So we have this down candle, then an up candle. Okay, so this is the current low. Down candle, then an up candle, boom. We have a low, and let's say that we're at one of our area of interest, okay? We're at one of our areas of interest. We're at a draw on liquidity. Okay, and we see price move up, okay, and then we see price move down, but we never end up breaking structure. We just put in a lower low. Why is it a lower low? Because we get a move down and then a move up. Okay, so now this is the most recent low. If this next candle, after this most recent low gets put in, closes underneath this low that was made, is that a break of structure? No. When does it become a break of structure? When or if we can close underneath the most recent low, which was right here. Okay. Now back to this. Okay, so break of structure to the upside, move up, then a move down, and it has to be a closure above the most recent high. That means it's a break of structure. Okay, this is like the perfect cheat sheet to show break of structure. Okay, break of structure to the downside. Okay, down move and an up move, a move down, then a move up. Okay, we form a low right here. Why don't we give a fuck about it? Because we ended up forming another low right here. Move down, then a move up. We find the lowest point of those two candles. We end up closing this candle underneath it. Break of structure. Why do we disregard this low? Because it had a new low form right up here. It's close below. Let's go over. Okay, is this a break of structure? Just a wick to the upside. Up move, down move up, then a move down. That's the high. We see price push above it, but then close underneath. No closure above the most recent high. It's not a break of structure. Okay, is this a break of structure? A move up, then a move down. Boom, move up, then a move down. Okay, what do we see? Closure above the most recent high. Yes. Okay, and also, wait, what are you talking about? Mark out the first one too. Yeah. That's good. Uh-huh. Yeah. Right, yeah. Cool. Yeah, and same thing here, right? If a break of structure cannot occur in the same direction as the last break of structure. So right here, we're obviously bearish because we're identifying highs, right? Or the trend is bearish. Okay, let's say we want to take longs. Okay. And we see price make a up move, then a down move, then an up move, then a down move. Okay, if we're already bearish, we're not monitoring lows. If we're already in a downtrend, we're not saying shit like, oh, price just broke structure to the downside. Oh, price just broke structure. Like, no. Like, that's not a break of structure. That's just continuing the trend that we're in. Okay? So, when we're in a downtrend, we can only break structure to the upside. And when we're in an uptrend, we can only break structure to the downside. Once. Okay? But let's say, like, we break structure to the downside, we get a closure underneath here, and then boom, we break right back to the upside, then that's okay. And again, these confluences are nothing without context, okay? So again, liquidity, like, yes, super duper important. We need to know it with context, with daily bias. Is break of structure super duper important? Yes, with context and with daily bias. Okay? Now, I will let this open to questions on break of structure only. All right. I wouldn't use the line chart. I know that I said the line chart is good to help identify highs and lows in the boot camp, which it is, but not for break of structure. Yes, we definitely need a lot more confirmation. We'll let more of these questions come in, and then I'll. All right, pause the shit. Okay. Have fun peeing. Okay, let's go through all these questions. Who is that? Is this Lesno? Motion. Fire. Me when my fit's hard. Emote. Fortnite dance. Okay, so let's see here. See the third picture on the sheet. What if there was another candle next to the third one? Okay, let's pull it up. See the third picture on the sheet. What if there was another candle next to the third one that closed above the high, but below the third candle's wick? Would that be a valid break of structure? Yes. So that's a great question. I wish I had like something that I could draw here, but if we end up on this next candle, if we don't close above this candle's wick, but still close above this high, that is a break of structure. Why do break of structures matter? So break of structure is super important. It helps us indicate it's a confirmation, okay, outside of like a confluence. So it gives us confirmation that a liquidity sweep is valid. It gives us confirmation that the confluences that we have marked out are valid. It pretty much tells us and can indicate that, hey, orders were filled based off the confluences that I teach you guys during this week. And the reason that we know orders are filled is because we're seeing break of structures out of them. What happens if the candle is equal with the wick? Then it does not count as a break of structure. It needs to close higher. What about failed break of structures? That would be this. Does this mean that when there's a liquidity sweep, there's a break of structure? If not, then can you show how? Typically, yeah, when we have liquidity sweeps, we typically will see break of structure. So if we go back to yesterday's trading day, we saw the liquidity sweep on the high time frame, and then what happened right after that? We ended up breaking structure. Candle closure to the downside, price sold off. Yes, you get these recordings in the mastermind forever. Is it okay to use the line chart? I already talked about that. The line chart is great for marking out highs and lows, but it sucks for breaks of structure just because, like, for example, Let me mark out this high right here. This is a high. But on the line chart, we see this is the high. And we see price as having been broken structure. Versus when we go to the bar chart, we can see that that's a different story. This is the high. So it's good for identifying highs and lows or just identifying the trend, but not good for breakup structure. Oh, I'm about to yawn. Can you show more examples on the chart? Yeah. When does breakup structure indicate a break in the daily bias as well? I'll talk about that when we talk about daily bias. The show. Okay, can you show more examples? Yeah, so this, we had a breakup structure to the upside, right here. Candle closure above this high, while being in a downtrend. Now we're in an uptrend after this candle closure to the upside. Then what happens? Boom, candle closure to the downside in an uptrend underneath the most recent low. Boom, breakup structure to the downside. Price ends up going lower. Price is fractal. This happens on every time frame, okay? Daily's been really choppy lately. Let's show the weekly. The weekly, we broke structure to the downside right here. Right after that, broke right back to the upside. Why? Monthly retrace. Right here, weekly, we break structure to the downside. We continue going lower and lower until we actually use pretty much the same line right here. Until price breaks structure back to the upside. Boom, this is the high. Price continues higher. Okay, this is an example of price not breaking structure, move down, then a move up. We have this low. Price, boom, pokes its head underneath there, but never breaks structure. Price moves higher. Can show one more example here. This is a good example. Price previously in a downtrend. We see a high, move up, then a move down. We see the candle break structure right here. Boom, uptrend. Then when does this turn into a downtrend? We're monitoring lows. These lows, nothing. These lows get formed. Boom, we break structure to the downside on this candle. We end up going a little bit lower. If price fails to make a higher high in an uptrend, do you disregard and still wait for breakup structure on the lows? Yes, I do. Do we get recordings at the end of the mastermind? Yes. So breakup structure can also be a liquidity sweep, depending. No, so a break of structure, or first let's go over liquidity sweeps. What is a liquidity sweep? When we're in an uptrend and price pushes past a high, okay, fills sell orders and causes price to go down. Break of structures tend to be results of liquidity sweeps. Okay, but it's kind of like how a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. Okay, where a liquidity sweep causes a break, can typically cause break of structure, more often than not causes breaks of structure. But a break of structure is not a liquidity sweep. Yeah. What time frame would be a good place to look for break of structure? I'm going to give you guys time frames, everything, once we get into daily bias and once we actually get into how we can craft some trades based on these confluences. Are these break of structures? So right here, yes, we had a closure underneath this low, and then again, yes, we broke structure back to the upside. Is this a break of structure? I'm assuming that this is in an uptrend. Yes, we broke structure to the downside, but with this high right here, we're still bearish because we haven't broken structure back to the upside. This is a break to the downside, then a break back to the upside. This is a break to the downside while continuing bearish structure. So if the up candle on a low has a lower wick than the down candle, do we use the lowest wick? Yes, because again, how do we identify lows and highs within the market? The low is the move down, then a move up. Regardless of where those wicks are, we take the lowest point of those two candles. A high is a move up and a move down. The down candle can have the higher wick of the two. We just take the highest point of those two candles. Should break of structure be at the end of my checklist? I'm going to give you guys your own checklist later on. You said we shouldn't enter off of the break of structure only. We need more confirmation, right? Yes. That's with all of our confluences. If we just take our confluences and try and turn them into some magic, just one-stop shop for trades, we're going to get fucked. Okay, because look right here, boom. Oops. Look right here, we have a low right here on the weekly time frame, and we see price break structure, but then price break structure right back to the upside. And it was just a monthly retrace. Okay, if we look at, let's find another example of this. The daily, we break structure to the downside right here after being in an uptrend, but then price doesn't even make price makes a lower high, but it doesn't even continue the downtrend. Why? Because it was just a retrace on the weekly. Can you do examples of it during consolidation? During consolidation, it's not even a trend, right? So that's one thing where, like, in consolidation, you can mark out every single break of structure, up, down, left, right. But if the market is moving like this, understanding the trend won't help you because there is no trend, right? Understanding the break of structure won't help you. Break of structure really helps when market's trending. I don't know if this is a question, but you said price closes above recent low or highs but continues in the same direction. Again, that's because with break of structure we need context. Similar, like, I'm assuming that's what you mean by this, right? Like where we had a break of structure to the downside, price closes below a recent low but continues in the same direction. Why? Let's look at the context. Monthly time frame. What if we close below a low on the 1 minute and it doesn't close on the 5 minute? I'm assuming you mean that if on the 5 minute we have a low and on the 1 minute we close underneath it, but we don't on the 5 minute, that is not a break of structure. Break of structure is strict to its time frame. Okay, so if I have a 15-minute low right here and I scale down on the 5-minute time frame with this low marked out, and the 5-minute time frame closes underneath that low, it's not a break of structure because I'm not on the same time frame that I marked out the low on. There's probably several different lows within here, and we're probably already in a downtrend on the 5-minute. Ooh, okay. So if there's a move down and a break of structure up, but then it moves down again, what does that indicate or mean? Again, like I've been saying since the start of this lesson, because I knew that this would be brought up, break of structure is literally nothing without context. So again, we can go through and we can identify every single break of structure ever. If we're in an uptrend, odds that price does some shit like this is pretty likely, depending on like what time frame we're on, right? Like for price to break structure to the downside on one time frame because we're bullish on a higher time frame, just so it can get a retrace on the higher time frame, that's likely, and that happens all the time. Okay, so we need to understand our context. So if we are bullish, we're not looking for breaks of structure to the downside. We're waiting for price to come into one of our confluences, and then we're looking for breaks of structure to the upside. So we're not even bothered with breaks of structure to the downside. Get me? How do you interpret wicks above highs or vice versa with lows? Or do you disregard them completely? So that's exactly what this shows, or actually what this shows. Let's say that this is a uptrend, okay, prior to this, right? We're making higher highs and higher lows. We come down and we make this low, right? Move down, then move up. This is the lowest point. And then we see this candle move down, then move up. And again, we're assuming that we're in an uptrend, so this isn't even a break of structure. And then let's say the next candle comes all the way down and closes underneath this low. Do we care? No, because this was the most recent low that was formed. This is the only low that we want to see structure get broken off of. Use break of structure and liquidity together, right? Yes, along with other confluences. What if we get a huge wick followed by the same color candle closure? I don't know. I would need more context for that. Like, if this thing's wick was huge, it still wouldn't be a break of structure, versus if this next candle closes above these highs and the wick is really fucking big, it doesn't really matter much because, again, like, structure's been broken. How many candles does it take to be a break of structure? I mean, technically only 3, right? We have either the move up and the move down, or the move down and the move up, and then the breaking candle. So the candle that closes above the move up, then a move down, and the breaking candle, the candle that closes underneath the move down, then the move up. Motion. Does he have a Rolex on? Lesno is fucking pressure. Pressure. You got the Submariner, Bruce Wayne ski. I'm fucking with you heavy, Lesno. Motion. Rolly dial peeking out. Straight pressure, bro. Don't let anybody tell you different. Okay, for a breaking structure, what happens if the candle closes equal to the wick? It's not valid, okay? And the way that we can look at this, or the way that we can see this, is if we... Oh, man. Let's say we have... let's just imagine that this candle closed right here. Oops. Let's just imagine that this candle closed right here. Okay, the way that we can see that is up here we have open, high, low, and close. Okay, the O stands for open, the candle open, the H stands for the candle's high, the L stands for the candle's low, and the C stands for the candle's close. Okay, so if we're marking this out as a high, that let's say that we're in a downtrend, okay, or fuck it, let's do this for example. Okay, we're in an uptrend and we want to find a bearish break of structure. And the candle closure is so close to this line that we are zooming all the way in and we can't tell. Okay, the first thing that we do is we go to the low. Okay, so we find the candle that created the low, whether it's the up candle or the down candle. Okay, the lowest, the one that created that lowest wick. We go to it and we see in that top left hand corner, we see the L, $18,006.25. Okay, we keep that in mind, 18,006.25, and we go to the breaking candle, or the candle that we want to see if it broke structure, and we look at the C. The C stands for the close. Okay, in this case, it's 17,180.75. So in this case, the candle did, in fact, close underneath that low because of these prices. A good confluence with break of structure. We're going to get into them tomorrow. I guess we did need the whole day for break of structure. Higher time frame break of structure more valuable. Higher time frame, everything is more valuable. Higher time frame holds higher power. If you break structure and close to the downside, then like you explained, immediately break the recent high and close the candle back to the upside, then the trend is still bullish after that second break back above, correct? Yes. Okay, I've watched every single video from last summer boot camp. Let's combine it with order block today. I wish I could. Oops. Hello? Yeah, you can let them in. Sorry. Okay, so that covers break of structure for today. I do want to, I mean, it's so hard because I might switch the schedule up a bit. I definitely want to do fair value gaps tomorrow, or sorry, not tomorrow. We have a break day tomorrow, by the way, guys, because I'm traveling. But I definitely want to do fair value gaps on Thursday. Fair value gaps on Thursday. Order blocks on Friday. I think what I want to do is I want to combine what I want to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to change the schedule a bit. Fair value gaps will happen not tomorrow, but on Thursday. And we're going to do equilibrium and SMT. And SMT is something that I have not talked about. Equilibrium and SMT on Thursday instead of order blocks. And then we're going to do order blocks and breaker blocks together on Saturday. And then Monday of the next week, we can get into strategy creation. Cool? Cool. All right, boys. With that being said, you can run some examples real quick. Yeah, sure, bro. If you want to hop on. I low-key gotta go because I need to take a call right at 2. But if you want to run them through some shit, go ahead. Cool.
Alright, I'm gonna screen share my trading view. Hold up. Just gonna like run some back to back, and then what I'll do too. Hold up. 1 sec. Okay. I'll open the chat up. If you guys have any questions. Alright. Okay. Chat is open. Yo. Oh wait. Fuck. It doesn't let me share my screen. We might. Hold on. 1 sec. Okay, there we go. Nice. Perfect. Screen 1. Alright. Travel day. I don't know, RP. That's up to teacher. I don't think so. I think it'll just be extended out is all, which is fine. Slow mode for chat, dude. It's fine. Most people are gonna leave anyways. It's good. Okay. So can you guys see my screen? Chat. What was the question again? Bro, you guys are fucking flaming lens now. Okay, but so we'll just go over like 15-minute back-to-back examples. I'll just go on like replay mode and just cover the break structure. Any questions you got? So move ups, down, and opposite. Could you explain that a little bit more? Clicking on matter for trimming, move up or move down. Like your chart color, or like, oh yeah. So it has to be a green candle, then a red candle. So up candle, then down candle. Yeah, it is. It's being recorded. Don't worry. Unless not for. Actually, start with 4x. It works for either one, so it doesn't matter. RLE on call. Dude, I don't know. Is he goated? Bro, what are we sending? I did not take any trades today. My setup in a form. Okay, so this would be a breaker structure to the downside. Down move, up move, and then closure below. And then we have a new high, so a high formed here, then a new high formed here. So we're still bearish. Breaker structure. New high formed here. Still waiting on that high. New high formed here. And then didn't close above yet, so not a break yet. Not a break yet, and then new high formed. And then we get the breaker structure. Trade Mr. I like to think of myself as so, yeah. Bro is Enigma, okay. Dude, what are we sending, bro? What are we doing here? I'm about to pause, bro. I want to keep chat open. Values a new wick. High as a BOS wasn't set yet. It's the most recent. We always use the most recent high. Came on. Thoughts on Melly? Melly? What? Am I getting trolled right now? Yeah, so it's up then down, and like the highest 2x. SMC, yeah. So, I don't really know candlestick patterns like that, to be honest. But if it's the way that BOS is, then yeah. I'd rather go let me. Bro, I don't know if teacher would let me on the call. So teacher, I have my own strategy. I don't ever share it because like I like to think of myself as profitable with it, and I'm like super superstitious about that stuff. I don't want to tell anyone my strategy. Like I'll never share it really. BOS. Hold on, let me see. Let me pull this up. Okay, so why shouldn't this be a BOS? So we had a break structure to the downside here, right? So down move, up move. Right. Assuming your colors are like that. So then we have up move, down move. It's this high, this wick high right here. It's the highest of the 2 wicks. And then closure above here is the break. And then we have a down move, up move. Wait, down move, up move. Dude, oh my god, your chart colors are weird. Hold on. Yeah, so down move, up move here, and then closure below here. Yeah, up move, down move right here, right? And then this is the highest of the 2 wicks, and then we have a closure above, which is a break here. Okay, are there any questions, by the way? Or are we good? We'll probably wrap this up. For down then up and take the low, those correct, Yusuf. Can you show how to scalp down from a higher time frame and find an entry on lower time frame? We are no, not yet. Nowhere close to that yet. We're just going over the confluences individually right now. Just going over individual confluences at the moment. Somebody understand this for sure, but no problem. Homework. Find 10 breaks of structure. That's the homework. first mastermind. Like, was I in it or did I like help run it? Trade for me, I'll get you 10% profits. Appreciate that, Tucker. The effect of higher BOS for third. So a higher time frame always holds higher power, obviously. So we aren't even into bias yet, but that kind of helps determine your bias as a higher time frame breaks the structure. Spot high confluences imbalances. Not yet. We haven't even talked about imbalances yet, bro. That's for TJR to do. Thank you, no problem. Okay, but like, should you take a 30-minute, 15-minute break structure during the count when taking trades at that? So yeah, so at the end, he's gonna show like give you a step-by-step like strategy almost, and then he kind of goes over like the different time frames for break structure. Right now, we're just learning what a break structure is. You guys are getting a little bit far ahead. Okay, thank you, Christian. No problem, Johnny. That's on some psych tips. Okay, so yeah, some psychology tips. I'd recommend like think about is like, I mean honestly, overall just improving your life outside of trading. That's like what will really help a lot because a lot of you guys are trying to be like mastering yourselves in the markets, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but when you aren't even like making your bed in the morning or like cooking your own food, you know, like it's gonna it's gonna be kind of hard to master like a huge ass market, you know. So you got to be able to do these simple things outside of trading and then work your way up, and then it'll have that effect within trading as well. To become profitable, I can't even say AP because some dude, this guy I taught how to trade, he turned profitable in like six or like I guess I just showed him the basics. He turned profitable in like 6 months before even I was profitable, and then like me, it took me like 2 years, I'd say. I've been trading 2 years, Rick. Appreciate it. Comes to back testing, I was wondering generally if you practice betting. Do it. So I always trade between 9:30 to 11. I understand the macros and stuff as well. Obviously, those are like higher confluence times. But start working TJR. So, fee for Nick, bro. I've never done a drug in my life like that ass. So I used to pay for like his used to pay to be in his cord, and then he like I helped him out with a bunch of stuff, and then like I slowly built my way up. Like it's simply said, New York Open Silver Bullet. I mean, it can, bro. Any strategy can work. Like my friend trades supply and demand, and he's profitable. It doesn't really, like, you just have to have be consistent with it and like have proper risk management and everything. I'll think TV. Alright, macros. It's like just times. We haven't even gone over that yet. Don't even worry about it. Next summer, so I know T-stresses. You can trade different sessions, Johnny. You don't have to trade New York Open. I'm really new into trading and I'm learning a lot from messing with it. I understand how anything works, like how to use trading time frames, etc., etc. Yeah. So you can kind of learn that over time. I'll just go over like some quick things that'll help you, like real quick. So these are the time frames up here. You can favorite them. And then a really good trick that I always use is for like marking highs out and stuff is control. Like whenever you have your tool selected, and you can highlight these at the on here and make them at the bottom or wherever you want to put them. You can hold control, and it'll like magnetize your cursor. And then whenever you press it to select a spot, hold shift while you drag, and it'll straighten it out. Same thing with like boxes. And I mean, yeah, there's not really much to like learn about trading view, to be honest. Box fight. Arlie, let's run it, bro. Someone? I don't know, Matt. It's an interesting question, bro. Let's hook clan? Yeah, let's run it, Hussein. Was you in it for money? Beyond? Yeah, of course, everyone's in it for the money at first. That's how you, bro. I used to watch Morgan Hope TikToks. I don't know if you guys have seen those, like with his Lambo and stuff. That's what got me into it. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that. Investment portfolio, want to invest your earnings outside trading. Yeah, I do different, like, right now I'm learning Python and like different like language models and stuff for AI. So like I just implemented a new AI into like a chatbot into one of one, and I'm working on like developing like an AI automation agency, and I'm gonna put some money into that as well as like just different business models and stuff like ETFs, whatever. We should do a mastermind Clash of Clans or Clash Royale, dude. Side W, yeah, that's fire. That's what I was originally in there for. I'm 19 AP, just turned 19 recently. Yeah, bro. I already said this. I used to pay for his Discord, and then like he gave me lifetime for free, and then like I helped him with support and everything. Level 1, yeah. I'm the payouts manager at 101. I also like I developed the systems for it. The equation we used to like breach the accounts for the glitch, I created that equation and I coded it into a calculator in C++. And then like I have a new system I'm working on for it right now to speed up the process. Alright, how do I start from TGR? Dude, I don't know, man. You just gotta know him, I guess. Puerto Rico? No, I live in Michigan, bro. IQ, dude. I don't put any socials out there. One trustworthy? Yeah, it is. So that's mine. People win again. I'm. I don't know. I'm Matthew. I'm like, okay. Dude, this is why are we doing a Q&A about me? Okay, bro. Do you guys have questions about like breakage structure? Appreciate it, Johnny. Yeah, it's still in the recording. Running trustworthy? I don't know. I haven't used Arctic funding. ShipStation TraderVate. I like TraderVate because you can connect it to TradingView. Whatever. Can you US 101 in Cali? What do you mean? What is strategy? I don't share my strategy to anyone. Well, yeah. Alright, bro. Off. Something profitable. Bro. The C in trading. Wait, what are you talking about? Use 101 funny. Oh, yeah, of course, bro. You can use. No, I dropped out of college. Or I did like dual enrollment through high school, like where I was in college and high school, and then I quit. Alright, corrupt. Bro. Profitable? I like to think of myself as profitable, yeah. To college? I don't know. My mom didn't like the idea of me not doing college, but I just didn't really want to do it, so. Favorite the time zones? I got on TradingView, the sessions at least. What do you mean favorite the time zones? You can favorite time zones? Oh, you mean switch them like this? Yeah, it's at the bottom right. You show for the chart while holding shift? Yeah, I can show it again real quick. You just hold control to like magnetize your cursor, and then whenever you press it or click it, hold shift and you can drag it out. It works for boxes, lines, etc. And then if you guys want to like set your buy side, you can do templates, so you just type out whatever. Oh my god, bro. I need to get some water. I don't talk this much usually. So you can make all the styles and stuff, and then save it as a template, and then use it later. So break structure is easy to see. Yeah, I really do see, but when teacher stops immediately. I would say probably like 3 weeks. It should take you max to spot like break a structure like that. You'll be confused for a little bit. Content? No, I don't do any content. I don't post anywhere. I don't do content. I like to remain pretty low key for the most part. Alright, bro. Says, they're pretty happy with it. Have crypto that I can short and buy BTC. I think we're actually. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Never mind. I don't know any. I don't even know off the top of my head, to be honest. Grow up Michigan, like U.S. Yeah, I have this recording. Or like, what do you mean myself? To a short? No, we're not even going over like entries yet. We're just going over the confluences. Crypto too? No, I'll put some money into alts or like meme coins sometimes, but I don't like trade it or anything. Magic key? What do you mean magic key? Yeah, I did, Corey. Yeah. It's 4x for now. Yeah, we're trying to get futures implemented for these recordings. Yeah, these recordings are forever. I'm probably gonna head off here pretty soon. Oh shit, Corey. Are you still there, Corey? Or no? Enter date? No. No, I'm not entering anything today. That's when people enter another one, then you were not spend some more info, right? I mean, it's like, it's not really. I'm pretty sure they can enter the new one, can't they, if they wanted to? Thanks for saying. Yeah, of course, bro. One soon? I don't know about soon. Probably like the next few months. We're working. We gotta get us to deal with TradeAvate set up. So, that's fire. Bro. Yeah, no problem. Do you guys have any more questions about breakage structure? Anything I can go over? 3 things to tell my beginner self. Honestly, just stay consistent with it. Even though like even whenever you do want to quit, you gotta like keep going through that, because like that's the hardest period, is like whenever you're right about to quit. Because there are a lot of times I literally almost gave up on it and just went back to college or something. But you just gotta stay Stay consistent. Like you have to have an end goal in mind. Essentially, like you have to know what you're looking for out of this. Yeah, or not even honestly, Pesh. Like that's one thing, bro. A lot of people lose like $20,000, $30,000 when they start out. I lost maybe like a band or two or something. Like I overall throughout my entire trading career. Futures aren't available one of one. Would you recommend trading using the same strat? You can just do forex. Minecraft Monkey. No, it's not. Yeah, for sure, Christian. Cause yeah, it's hard. Does 101 have futures right now? No, just forex and indices and stuff. And trends. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. So you basically like wait for the liquidity sweep, and you can use that in Confluence. So like once liquidity is swept, like here for instance, perfect example. Obviously we aren't going over entries yet or anything, but swept liquidity right here, right? Break a structure to the downside. We haven't gone over it yet, but I'm sure for those who know how to spot it, look at that. So go over that later though. On a keyboard. What do you mean like horizontal? Like that? Or like how do I do it? Or what? Avid jazz enjoyer? I don't know, I like classical music a little bit, like Billie Holiday and stuff like that. Song on piano? Maybe at the end. Real sec. What do you mean by magic keys, bro? What is magic keys? I don't know about that, to be honest, Clip. Yeah. No, no, no. A BOS isn't a liquidity sweep. You use it in Confluence with like other things, like liquidity sweeps. Yeah, yeah. So you hold control, like whenever you have this out, you hold control and it'll like lock on to the body or the wicks. And then once you have it selected, you hold shift and then it'll drag it out. It should be on the calendar. But I appreciate that, Batman. I'll look into it. When do we go over Breaker? We go over it on the 8th of June. That's what it says. No, we don't have options trading surf. We do not. In school and trading, when did you know it was the right time to end your school career, I guess? Yeah, so I basically, like, I was in... I should probably stop the recording here if we're just gonna ask... I kind of just want to have the break structure in the recording. But for me, like, it was towards the end of high school. I was in college as well. And then I decided, like, well, kind of like my sophomore, junior year, I didn't really like school as much anymore because I used to get, like, straight A's and everything. And then I started, like, focusing more on trading and stuff outside of it. And then my senior year, I could have either, it was, like, basically, like, an option. Like, I could have either just stuck with college and then, like, had associates in business management, or I could, like, within the next year, or I could have quit it and then focus on what I wanted to do. So I just focused on what I wanted to do and doing pretty good now. Slot size calculator. Oh, okay. I'm actually working on a website for TGR right now that has like a lot of that stuff. It'll be futures calculator, lot size calculator, and then like a profitability calculator. Dude, this guy is just asking me like a Q&A. Okay, do we have any questions about like the breakage structures at all? 2021. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to just drop it. You don't have to do anything severe like I did. I usually don't recommend, to anyone who asks me, I like never recommend dropping out of whatever. But it's good to build it up on the side, and then once you're ready, you can quit it. Okay, bet, yo. Framer. Let me see. Hold up. Hold this up on my other monitor. Oh, bet. Okay, thank you, bro. Well, as high as it's a high, then a low, and not the other way. Well, because it's a move up then and move down. So like that's a high, right? So like move up, move down. That's the high. And then it's like, you know, this is high, this is low. So this is the low, this is the high. Try silver? No. There should be a... Yeah, we should go over daily bias a little bit if I know. Yeah, true, true. See, yeah, bet. With crypto, I made like what was it, like a few thousand, like a couple or a few months ago, off of like a couple altcoins. Parlay, dude, just fucking gamble your life savings on pump fun. Not financial advice. All right, any other actual questions at all? Or I gotta get a video recorded for 101 to address this rule thing. No, I'm not. Dropping your mastermind, never, bro. I'll never do a course or anything. I don't do course socials. Any of that. What's up, AP? What question you got? 101, it's the firm. 101 funding is the firm. I'm gonna wait for AP's question and probably end it. Well, RP, that's hedging and that's against the terms of service. Would I have to use my, okay, AP, I'm not gonna lie to you. Theoretically, someone could do that, but please don't. I mean, just, I'll pretend like I didn't see that, okay? But I would not recommend it, because it's technically illegal. But that's what some people do. We don't really have a way of catching that, but yeah. Alright, Devin, okay. Okay, any more questions about the breakage structure before I end this call? You too, you know. Just an example of a faraway break structure and close one. What do you, oh, like, hold on. Okay, yeah. So like, something like this, where this is a close breakage structure, right? Up move, down move, closure above right next to it, and then bulls right after, right? And then like a far away break, I guess we could say, like, try to find like a good example. I mean, it's just one that like takes a little bit. So down move, up move, down move, up move, new low, down move, up move, new low, and then closure below, break a structure here. W Yusuf, I would not recommend. Yo, I'm not financial advice, but that's fire, bro. Appreciate it, Johnny. Appreciate you guys. Example of BOS not being valid? Yeah, I made that in the template TJR used. I made an example of it not being valid. So like, up move, down move, up move, down move. Okay, that's valid. Trying to find one. Let me try to find one on the chart real quick. Okay, perfect. So like, right here, I'm sure if you guys were to like watch this in real time, this is probably news. Or no, end of the day. Okay. So like, whenever it was, keep in mind at some point this was like a full candle, right? Okay, it's kind of hard to mark out, but you get the idea. Oh wait, that's the text. Hold on. Uno momento. Okay. So a lot of people probably just see this above here and think it's a break of structure, but you have to wait for that closure above because it did not close above yet. So you would wait, and then it closes, or it forms a new high up here, and then it closes above that, which is a break. Tomorrow is like, it's not like actual NFP. NFP is on Friday, so I'll probably trade tomorrow. I won't be trading Thursday or Friday though. It is important. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean it's all possible, bro. You just gotta stick with it. I actually think he's streaming tomorrow. Yeah, I think he is streaming tomorrow. Not just keep an eye out on his Instagram because sometimes I don't even know, and then I'll check his Insta and be like, oh, he's streaming tomorrow. He usually posts it at night. Are you? I trade like, yeah, I know a decent amount of like ICT stuff and everything. I just trade my own strategy that I made, but it's off of like smart money concept stuff. But I don't yeah, like I said, I'm not revealing the strategy. I never tell anyone my strategy. No, for real. But yeah, take it easy, Noah. Okay, all right. Any more questions about breakage structure? Because I'm probably gonna end this. See, yes, sir. You guys as well. Yeah, trade support and resistance. It's plenty, man. All right, I'm gonna head off. Appreciate you guys. Later.